A message to the American people. How do we end racism? We can't. Eliminating all racism is impossible. No amount of programs, laws, speakers, writers, activists, or protests can end racism. Don't get me wrong. Racism can be limited by all of those things. The problem is completely eliminating it is impossible. There are always going to be people that think less of another race or think their race is superior to all others. That is inevitable. But for those of you who think I'm being cynical or pessimistic, I'm not. I'm being realistic. We live in a real world with real human beings, and as everyone knows, human beings aren't perfect. Even if our society could manage to limit racism to, let's say, only 0.5% of people are racist, there would still be 1.6 million racists in our country. As anyone can see, that is still a massive amount of people. And in a country with 325 million people, eliminating something like racism is impossible. But let me tell you what people can do. They can limit the effect racism has on them. The problem is, a lot of people see racism as a dead end. It's not. It's an obstacle. It's an obstacle. A bump on the road. And just like any other obstacle, it can be conquered. If someone is too short to reach a glass in the cabinet, staring at the cabinet and wishing it was closer isn't going to help. So what can be done? Get a step stool. Climb onto the counter. Though I highly recommend not doing that because that's actually really dangerous. Or ask for someone's help. Or let's say someone is out hiking and a tree has fallen on the trail. She can quit in a heartbeat. But you know what? She can climb over top of it. And she can refuse to accept defeat. The moral of those stories is sometimes nothing can be done about an obstacle, but its impact can be non-existent. So, to the people out there experiencing racism, you're not doomed. In fact, you are far from it. You simply have to beat it. I don't care what metaphor you use. You can think of racism as a brick wall, a wide river, or a canyon separating you from your desired destination. Whether that destination is being a school teacher, an executive at a large business, a lawyer, a good parent, a doctor, you name it. You can choose to let that obstacle stop you in your tracks, or you can take control and go right over, through, around, etc. I don't care what anybody tells you, you are in charge. There are some things you will never be able to control, and somebody else's racism toward you and your race is out of your control. What you are in control of is how you react to and take down that obstacle. Many people would have you believe that your life is out of your control, and they'll say our president, legislature, court system, law enforcement, and education system decide how you live your life. I'm here to tell you, they're wrong. A man named Morgan Freeman, in an interview with CNN's Don Lemon, talked briefly about the long path he had from his birth in Memphis, Tennessee, to where he is today. After that, Lemon went on to say some people say not everyone can pick themselves up by the bootstraps. Morgan's response? Bullshit. I don't care what anybody tells you, you are in the driver's seat. You are in control. Now I'm going to tell everybody how we can dramatically decrease racism in this country. You stop putting people into groups. That's how all this started. Some people, some time ago, decided to group people into groups based on skin color and ethnic origins. Then some people decided certain groups were inferior to their group because of their differences. I'm here to tell you that doesn't have to be the case. I'm here to tell you there's only one race, the human race. The same great man from earlier, Morgan Freeman, said in an interview with Mike Wallace, ending racism can be achieved by not talking about it. We stop seeing people as black, white, red, Jewish, or Muslim, and we start seeing people as a member of our shared race, the human race. If everyone started doing that, racism would disappear at a staggering pace. To recap, to the people feeling the effects of racism, take control. It is an obstacle many have proven can be conquered. So get out there and break down those walls, cross those rivers, and climb those mountains. And for the rest of you out there, remember, eliminating racism is as simple as not talking about it. Stop letting groups be victims. No more spotlighting downfalls and oppression. It's time to look at everyone as a member of our human race and put our groups and their oppression in the past. There's only one direction to move, and that is forward. If we keep moving forward, we will live in a world with almost no racism, and its effects will be non-existent. We all have to come together as a whole and realize you are in control.